2 weeks into a COVID lockdown in China's biggest city, the State Department has told all non-emergency counselor staff to leave Shanghai. This morning, China's government relaxed the shutdown in areas of Shanghai that have had no new COVID cases. Some people were allowed to leave their homes, and some food sellers were able to reopen. It appears the government's response to public anger, food shortages, and a serious business slowdown. Elizabeth Palmer has the very latest.
It's the biggest urban COVID lockdown in the world. For more than 2 weeks, Shanghai, China's financial powerhouse, has been eerily quiet. The only bustle is at food depots, where there's a daily race to get groceries to millions who aren't even allowed out to shop. Billy Stockton is one of them. An American working in Shanghai, he's been confined to his apartment since late March.
No one knows where to get stuff. No one knows where to get medical help. And it's creating panic and fear and just instability.
Like the angry protests in areas where food actually ran out. In this one, the crowd is shouting, "We are starving." Small groups of residents have been allowed out, but only briefly for COVID testing. And positive cases had no choice. As one patient posted on TikTok, they had to board a special bus and check in to a government isolation center, which is clearly ready for an onslaught of new cases. At the same time, authorities are releasing old cases now testing negative. But this is false freedom. The 6,000 people let go on Monday headed straight back into lockdown at home. In the last 24 hours, the government announced people in some COVID-free neighborhoods would be getting real freedom. But looking out of Billy Stockton's window, there's no sign of that, and only murky details on when it might happen. Meanwhile, Billy's been taking stock of his dwindling food supply.
So what are you going to have for supper?
I have sausages, and then they supplied rice, a bag of rice yesterday. So simple stuff like that.
Do you feel as if you're trapped in a bit of a nightmare?
It's beyond surreal. It's just like you kind of have to pull yourself mentally out of it to get through it.
But getting through it could take another couple of weeks. The question is whether there's going to be any lasting fallout among Shanghai residents who have rarely, if ever, felt so abused and mistreated by their government. For CBS Mornings, Elizabeth Palmer, Tokyo.
Boy, that is a really interesting question.
Yes.
I mean, there's political fallout and pushback over mask mandates in Philadelphia and other places in this country. And you've got a 6-lane highway with no cars on it, like 2 o'clock in the afternoon there in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've seen video of people from their apartment buildings at night, shouting in frustration, shouting that they're starving in Shanghai because they're locked into their homes.
Why are they so extreme there? Do they know something we don't know? Is it a different
That's what I was
variant?
wondering
It makes
too,
me a little
Johnny.
worried.
I'd also like to know the type of vaccines that they have there.
Right, the vaccination rate.
And the rate, yeah.
Of people who are vaccinated.
I hope it's not a sign of things to come here. I don't think we'd ever be locked in our homes, but I just don't want to be locked down at all.
I don't
No.
happen here. All right, coming up, is it time for flying to go back to normal? We'll show you why airlines say we should not have to wear masks on a plane, even though new COVID infections are going up. We were just talking about that, right?
Yeah.
But first, it is 7:17 right on the dot. Time to check your local weather.